Voila. Uh, Welcome back to the class. So, I would like to explain some things about the differentiation more. The last part for the differentiation strategy is the luxury trip analysis. This part. Uh, Actually, this part is related to explain the risk of differentiation. So there are several reasons why we would like to consider to use differentiation strategy as well. Because differentiation is quite expensive, so it requires a higher R&D, it's better materials, and a premium marketing as well. I would like to explain more detail about this one. Strategic risk of differentiation. So the pursuit of differentiation carries a serious and distinct risk that must be understood and actively managed as well. There are several reasons I already mentioned before. The first is that price premium um, overreach. So this occurs when the price gap between the differentiator and the cost leader or discount alternative becomes so large that a significant customer segment decides the additional features are simply not worth the additional money. So Nokia smartphone strategy is the good example for it. So Nokia smartphone strategy failed partly. So because it priced the premium Symbian devices at a point where the V-P surplus was insufficient for most customers. So especially once Android emerged as a free, high quality alternative as well. You understand? And second is that the feature creep and value dilution. I would like to write for you guys. Feature creep and value dilution. So adding features that customers do not value increases C without increasing V. So customer do not value increases C without what? Increasing V. So this is the Swiss Army knife problem. So each additional feature seems logical in isolation, but collectively they make the product complex, expensive, and difficult to use. So destroying the simplicity premium that originally drove V as well. And next one is that this one, uh, commodit commoditization. of the differentiator. So when your unique attribute becomes the industry standard, your differentiation evaporates. Free Wi-Fi in hotel was $30 per night premium features in 2005. So it is now a minimum expectation, right? So touchscreen in smartphones, organic, labeling in food. Yesterday's differentiator is tomorrow's hygiene factor as well. Just this one is quite key mention to explain this concept. Yesterday differentiator is tomorrow's hygiene factor. And next one is that in ability to sustain investment, to sustain investment. So differentiation requires a continuous expensive investment in R&D, talent, brand, and innovation. The firms that achieve differentiation and then harvest it by cutting these investments find their competitive position eroding within 3 to 5 years as well. And the last one is that imitation. Uh, by well-resourced rivals. So if a differentiating feature generates high returns, large competitors will eventually replicate or acquire the capability. So Amazon built its logistic differentiation. So Walmart responded by investing $20 billion in supply chain and e-commerce. The differentiation arms race never ends as well. Okay. This is Amazon case and Walmart case. Good. Then we move on to the part four. Maybe this part is the last part. Maybe then actually we have one more part. The last part is almost summary part. So this part is the most important thing. Is the blue ocean strategy as well. So blue ocean strategy, the liberation of value innovation. Um. So you guys many students already heard that word many times, blue ocean and red oceans as well. So, but when when people hear that word, can understand the concept, but it's difficult to explain what it is and what is the difference between red ocean and the blue ocean as well. So that's why I would like to explain more deeply about the red ocean and blue ocean differentiation as well. Would make the new page one more. So the red ocean, I can explain just one sentence where most firms are trapped. Of course, this is my own explanation, and also some academic people use this phrase also similar things, and also other academic people has a different view to explain what reduction is, but personally, in this sentence is the best way to explain what reduction is. So the vast is a majority of managers in the world today. I mean that literally are trapped in the what? Um, the red oceans are defined markets where industry boundaries are clearly established. The rules of competitions are known and accepted by all players, and the firms are constantly fighting over the same customer pool. So in the red ocean, customers, companies fight over the same customer pool. So the competition is so fierce and the tactics are so similar across rivals that the industry's collective profitability is chronically eroded. So the ocean metaphors are vivid for a reason. The water is red from the shark feeding on each other. So in a red ocean, you face a structural coercion. So you must choose between cost leadership, and what differentiation. Oh, so because you cannot have both without the fundamental trade-off conflict, you accept the industry's existing demand pool as fixed. You are, in Porter's language, fighting over a bounded pie. So the airline industry is a brutal red ocean. So hotels and lodgings, retail banking, commercial real estate, restaurant chains in this industry, the firms can work harder, execute better, and still earn mediocre returns because their superior performance is quickly matched by rivals who copy their innovations as well. So I hope students can easy to understand what red ocean is. And now we move to explain the blue ocean strategy as well. So on the lecture slide, I wrote something. It's a value innovation mechanism like that, evolution, red ocean, and ERLS framework, the four actions like that. It's quite tricky, I know. But before going to the ERRC framework, I would like to explain more detail about the value innovation mechanism and what blue ocean strategy is as well. So, blue ocean strategy. So, the logic of value innovation. Um, the blue ocean strategy, which has since become one of the best-selling strategy books in history as well. So with over 4 million copies sold and a translation into 46 languages about the Blue Ocean strategy books from the Professor Chan Kim and Rene. Um, so their central argument challenged the fundamental premise of competitive strategy as taught since Porter that the value cost trade-off is a structural constraint. Actually, some academic people argued that the most successful and profitable strategy moves in business history were not about out-competing rivals in existing markets, So they were about creating entirely new market space, blue oceans, so where competition was irrelevant because the rules of the game had been redefined. The instrument of this market creation is what they call value innovation as well. So here is the key terms: value innovation. The definition of the value innovation is that the simultaneous pursuit of high differentiation and low cost. So not as a trade-off, but as a complementary dynamic. So value innovation rejects the portal constraints and seeks to make the trade-off irrelevant as well. And also, here is the key definition of the blue ocean. So, a newly created market space where demand is generated rather than captured. The competition is irrelevant because no comparable offering exists. The firm is, for a time, a monopolist in its own category as well. Good. Mm, so actually, so no case study illustrates blue ocean strategy more vividly or more rigorously than Cirque du Soleil. This is a good case for that. Cirque du Soleil. So let us spend a few minutes understanding how this organization has created one of the most spectacular business successes of the late 20th century by fundamentally reimagining what a circus could be. So by the early 1980s, the traditional circus industry in North America was in structural decline. The rising animal welfare legislation and public sentiment was eliminating the most popular traditional acts. The liability insurance for dangerous stunts was becoming the prohibitive. Star performance commanded escalating fees. Television and video games were capturing children's attention. The traditional circus was a dying red ocean. And so, Cirque du Soleil is founded in Quebec in 1984 by a group of street performers with no capital for acquiring animals or star acts asked the radically different, different questions. Instead of asking, how do we beat Ring, Ringling's brothers? They asked, what would a completely different from of live entertainment look like for adult audience? So who are currently not going to the circus? Of course, they challenged a lot of things and they faced with a lot of some negative situations, but the result was a product that was simultaneously cheaper to produce than a traditional circus, no animals, no star performance fees, smaller venue footprints, and perceived as dramatically more sophisticated and valuable by other consumers willing to pay $100 to $150 per ticket compared to $15 to $25 for traditional circuits. So this is the essence of value innovation. So Circuit du Soleil has achieved higher differentiation and lower cost simultaneously by redefining what a circus was. They did not compete with Ringling's brothers, and so they made the Ringling's brothers irrelevant as well. Okay, good. So we should read some sentence about this part. So value universal mechanism is instead of choosing between cost and differentiation, you pursue value innovation. So you're low cost by eliminating and reducing factors that don't matter. So while increasing value by raising and creating factors the industry has ignored. So finally, you guys can understand these two sentences. I hope. Then we move to the ERRC framework. We studied maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago maybe. So Blue Ocean into four actions organized in an ERRC grid. So the logic is simple but profound. Every industry has accumulated action factors. So things competitors compete only because they always have, not because customers actually value them today. So the ERRC framework forces managers to uh, each assumption as well. The first, eliminate. The question is that which factors that the industry has long compete on should be removed. The example is that the circuit Soleil eliminate animals. The strategy logic is that removing low value, so removing low value, and high cost factors lowers your C dramatically and simplifies the offering as well. And then we should really reduce. So the main question is that which factors should be reduced well below the industry standard. The strategic logic is that reducing over engineered feature. That the customers are overserved on the free resources. And then third one is the raise. So which factors should be raised well above the industry standard? This is the main question. The example is the Dyson raised the suction power of vacuums. The strategy logic is that addressing factors where customers are underserved elevate perceived V. Then last C is the create. The main question is that which factors should be created that the industry has never offered. The example is the Starbucks creates the third place between home and work. The strategic logic is that creating entirely new source of value opens non-customer segments and new demand as well. Okay. Mm, actually, I prepared some more explanation about this one. Uh, open the new page, the strategy canvas. Actually visualizing competitive position. Um, Actually, the strategic canvas is the central analytical and a communication tool of blue ocean strategies. So this is a good, is really important to understanding the blue ocean and the how to implicate the blue ocean strategy into the real business era. So it serves two purposes simultaneously. The first purpose is that it captures the current state of uh, competition in the known market space by mapping the relative performance of each player against a set of key competing factors. And the second purpose is that it allows you to visualize and design your desired future competitive profit. So the horizontal axis of a strategic canvas lists the key factors that the industry currently competes on: price, quality, then the service speed, and the variety, technological technology, technology, etc. And the vertical axis, this era, so represents the relative offering level. So, for example, how high or low each firm invests in each factor. So each firm is represented by a value curve connecting its position across all factors. Uh, some academic peoples identified three characteristics that defines the successful Blue strategy canvas curve. The first is that the focus, and the second is the divergence, and compelling tagline is the third part. Actually, we do not have enough time to show the strategic canvas for the Blue Ocean strategy. So I would like to introduce just the concept of this uh, information and this knowledge. So if someone has if someone has more interested to study about this one, um, just type the strategy canvas for Blue Ocean strategy, and you may um, find some good explanation video on the web as well. Okay, and also, hmm, okay, so before going to close the lecture, Blue Ocean Strategy also has some limitation and evaluation. So Blue Ocean Strategy is one of the most creatively streamed talent framework in the strategy management literature as well. But it has some evaluation and limitations also. The first thing is the sustainability problem. So blue oceans do not stay blue forever, of course. So when a firm creates a new market space and earns extraordinary returns, it attracts imitators. The circuit Solari is the good Solari case is the good things. So Circuit Solari itself spawned dozens of competitors, and first mover advantage is rare but temporarily. So without a follow on strategy for sustaining the advantage, the blue ocean gradually turns red. And second is the execution complexity. The value innovation requires simultaneous integrated changes across multiple dimensions of the business model. So not just the product, but the operations, the customer experience, the pricing and the talent. This level of the dimensional transformation is extraordinarily difficult to execute in large, inheritance-laden organizations. And third one is the empirical selection bias. So critics note that um, some case studies were selected retrospectively, so from firms that had already succeeded. So for every circuit Soleri, there were hundreds of would-be blue ocean creators who fed in obscurity. The framework does not adequately address the prior probability of success. And last, is the industrial applicability capability. The blue ocean thinking is more applicable in industries with high innovation rates. The flexible business model, economics, and diffuse customer demand. So in highly commoditized, capital intensive or regulated industries, the degrees of freedom for value innovations are much more limited as well. Okay, this is all things about the part four. I hope everyone understand all concepts. Okay, so we should close the lecture today. Then we are going to meet next week.